My roommate was a rich girl who liked to throw money around. On the very first day of college, she tossed $200 into my lap with her arms crossed and said, "Carry my luggage upstairs." My eyes lit up. I grabbed her bags and carried them all upstairs with enthusiasm. She seemed pleased and started paying me to do things for her every day. I thought we had the perfect boss-employee relationship until she handed me her black credit card. Blushing, she asked, "Your lips look so soft. Can I kiss them?" It was moving day at college. When I arrived at the dorm building, I saw a guy and a girl arguing. The girl wore a baseball cap and sunglasses that hid her face, but every movement screamed rich girl. The guy wore a faded t-shirt, his posture arrogant, curious. I moved closer and heard the girl's irritated voice. "Jason? Your dad specifically told you to help me with my luggage. Why are you giving me attitude?" Jason's expression darkened further. "Vanessa, I already carried your stuff from the school gate to the dorm building. Are you really so precious? You can't take it upstairs yourself?" Vanessa frowned. "But your dad took $300 from me. Is it too much to ask you to carry it to my actual room?" Suddenly understanding, she pulled $200 from her purse, tossed it into Jason's arms, and said imperiously, "I'll pay extra." "Okay, now stop arguing and take my bags out." I was stunned. $200 just to carry some luggage? This rich girl was beyond generous. For context, I barely made $400 a month working my butt off at a bubble tea shop. While I was thinking how unfair it was that I wasn't getting this opportunity, Jason's face turned bright red, like he'd been insulted. He threw the money on the ground and pointed at Vanessa's face. "You think everyone cares about your dirty money?" I was about to enter the building, but hearing this, I raced back. Only an idiot would pass up easy money. I hurried over to Vanessa, raised my hand, and said sweetly, "Miss, if you all need your luggage carried, can I help?" Vanessa raised an eyebrow, seemingly indifferent.
Sure.
"My room is 306. "Thanks, girl." 306 meant she was my roommate. Oh, actually where I started to say, but Vanessa had already turned and headed inside. I looked down at the money scattered on the ground. Jason misunderstood my hesitation and sneered. "Having second thoughts now? I told you, dignity is priceless. Chase after rich girls like her who have nothing but money, and all you'll get is contempt." I silently picked up the cash and cut him off. "You're annoying." It was already hot outside, and this guy wouldn't stop talking. I wanted to tell him off, but swallowed my words. Arguing with people like him felt like lowering their IQ. When Jason saw me picking up Vanessa's money, he grew even angrier. "If you have any self-respect, don't help her. Otherwise, I'll really look down on you." I gave him a dismissive glance over my shoulder. "Whatever. Like I care about your opinion." When I opened the dorm room door, I was greeted by a stunningly beautiful face. Vanessa had removed her sunglasses and was standing there with a small electric fan. Seeing me enter, she tilted her chin. "Just put them in the corner." I nodded obediently. Vanessa stared at me for a moment, then suddenly said, "Actually, would you help me unpack too? I'll transfer you another 300. As she spoke, she displayed her Venmo QR code. Did Laura say Vanessa's business had nothing to do with me? Katie Evans was now forever protecting this money-throwing rich girl. I eagerly added her as a friend and rushed to her with my hands clasped together, looking utterly devoted. "Miss Vanessa, I'm your roommate, Katie. Please feel free to ask me for anything in the future. I want to be your most loyal sidekick." Vanessa laughed at my enthusiasm. She looked at me without blinking and said cryptically, "All right, cute sidekick. Looking forward to working with you." Halfway through unpacking, our other two roommates arrived after finishing a round of their mobile game. Vanessa surveyed the room and suddenly asked, "I don't see your suitcase anywhere." I pointed to the backpack on my bed and explained frankly, "All my stuff is in here. 3 days ago, when I found out my family wanted me to get married early for the dowry money, I ran away. So, I only brought my ID and some clothes. I figured I could buy everything else at school." At that moment, I was incredibly grateful. I'd worked at the bubble tea shop after graduation. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have enough for tuition. I didn't think it was a big deal, but Vanessa looked unhappy. After I finished unpacking her things, she took my hand and said authoritatively, "As my sidekick, how can you look so shabby? Come on, we're going shopping." Vanessa took me to the mall closest to campus. Though it seemed like I was accompanying the rich girl shopping, in reality, before buying any clothes, she would ask if I liked them. Whenever I said yes, she bought it without hesitation. Always two of the same item in the same color, one for her, one for me. In my entire life, I'd never experienced someone emptying a shopping cart for me. Seeing the store employee struggling with all our shopping bags, I became nervous, my voice shaking a little. Miss Vanessa, are we going to keep shopping? Vanessa gave me a surprised look. Are you tired already? Okay, let's head back to school then. I blinked, realizing Vanessa had misunderstood my concern. But it didn't matter. She had bought me so many beautiful clothes that I felt guilty. Several times, I tried to pay in advance, but Vanessa, with her height advantage, easily pushed my phone down while presenting her payment code. The whole sequence was as smooth as flowing water. This only strengthened my determination to become her most loyal sidekick. When we left the mall, Jason's father, who worked as Vanessa's family's personal driver, was already waiting outside. After confirming all the shopping bags were in the trunk, Vanessa pulled me into the car and we sat side by side in the back seat. Mr. Parker turned his head to look at us, smiling. Vanessa, you bought so much today. Can you two girls manage all this? Should I call Jason to help you? Maybe it was just my dramatic imagination, but I sensed calculation in Mr. Parker's eyes. The way he looked at Vanessa, like she was something to be blamed, made me uncomfortable. Since private cars couldn't enter campus, and the main gate was quite far from the dorm building, Vanessa seemed about to agree. I quickly leaned to her ear and whispered, Miss Vanessa, I can handle it myself. Really selfishly, I didn't want to spend more time with Jason than necessary. As we pulled up to the campus gate, Mr. Parker's suggestion hung in the air like an unwelcome fog. Vanessa hesitated, her fingers drumming on her knee. A habit I'd already noticed meant she was weighing options. I could feel the weight of those shopping bags in the trunk, but more than that, I felt the prickly annoyance of Jason's potential involvement. No way was I letting that self-righteous jerk ruin our post-shopping glow. Actually, Mr. Parker, Vanessa said finally, her voice light but firm, Katie here's got it covered. She's my official sidekick now, remember? Super strong and super loyal. She shot me a wink that made my stomach do a little flip, probably just gratitude, right? Or maybe the air conditioning was too cold. Mr. Parker chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. All right, Miss Vanessa. Just holler if you need anything. Jason's always around. He glanced at me in the rearview mirror, and I swear there was a flicker of something calculating, like he was sizing up how much of a threat I posed to whatever scheme he had brewing with his son. We hopped out, and I loaded myself up like a pack mule, bags dangling from every arm, even one slung over my shoulder. Vanessa tried to grab a couple, but I waved her off. Nope, Miss Vanessa. Sidekick duties include heavy lifting. You just lead the way and look fabulous. She laughed, that rich, melodic sound that made heads turn as we trudged toward the dorm. You're something else, Katie. Most people would complain by now. Complain? This is the best workout I've had since dodging my family's marriage plots. I grinned, but inside, a tiny pang hit me. Running away wasn't as glamorous as it sounded. Nights crashing on friends' couches, scraping by on bubble tea wages. But here, with Vanessa, it felt like I'd stumbled into a fairy tale. A weird, money-flinging fairy tale. By the time we reached room 306, I was sweating bullets, but victorious. Our other roommates, Mia and Lena, were sprawled on their beds, scrolling through their phones. Mia, the bubbly one with neon hair streaks, looked up. Whoa, did you two rob a boutique? Something like that, Vanessa said, flopping onto her bed. She patted the spot next to her. Katie, come here. You deserve a break. I hesitated. Sitting on her bed felt oddly intimate, but obeyed, collapsing beside her. The mattress was way softer than mine, probably because she'd already swapped it out for some luxury brand. Our shoulders brushed, and I caught a whiff of her perfume, vanilla and something floral, expensive. As I unpacked the bags, half for her, half for me, Vanessa watched me with those intense eyes. You know, Katie, you're not like the others. Most girls at my old school just wanted stuff for me. But you seem genuine. I paused, holding up a silky blouse she'd bought in duplicate. Genuine? Miss Vanessa, I'm literally your paid sidekick. But hey, for you, I'd do it for free. I meant it as a joke, but her expression softened, and she reached out, tucking a stray hair behind my ear. My heart stuttered. What was that? Before I could overthink it, she whispered, call me Nessa, and tell me more about why you ran away. Sounds like a story worth hearing. I swallowed, the room suddenly feeling smaller. Mia and Lena pretended not to listen, but I could tell they were all ears. So I spilled a bit anyway. The arranged marriage to some distant cousin for dowry cash, my parents' outdated views, the suffocating small-town life. Nessa listened without interrupting, her hand resting lightly on mine. When I finished, she squeezed my fingers. That's brave, Katie. Stick with me, and you'll never have to worry about that crap again. Her tone was playful, but her eyes held a depth that made me wonder what shadows lurked in her own rich girl world. That night, as we lay in our beds, the dorm quiet except for Lena's soft snores, Nessa's voice cut through the dark. Katie? Thanks for today. You're fun. I smiled into my pillow, warmth spreading through me. Anytime, Nessa. Little did I know that was just the start of her pulling me deeper into her orbit. The next morning, campus buzzed with freshman orientation energy. Nessa dragged me to the welcome assembly, insisting we sit front row because sidekicks get the best views. She was in full rich girl mode, designer jeans, a top that probably cost more than my tuition, and that effortless confidence that turned heads. As the dean droned on about rules and resources, I spotted Jason across the auditorium. He was glaring daggers at us, or more specifically, at me. Great. Mr. Dignity himself. Afterward, Nessa wanted coffee from the fancy campus cafe, not the free stuff in the commons. Katie, grab us lattes? Here's my card. She handed it over like it was nothing, but her fingers lingered on mine a second too long. I nodded, buzzing with that now familiar mix of excitement and nerves. At the counter, Jason appeared out of nowhere, blocking my path. So, you're her little errand girl now? Pathetic. I rolled my eyes, swiping the card. Jealous much? Some of us prefer cash over ego trips. He scoffed. You'll see. Vanessa's type chews people up and spits them out. She's just using you. His words stung more than I let on, but I pushed them aside. Back with the coffees, Nessa beamed. Perfect timing. Let's ditch this and explore. We wandered campus, her arm linked through mine. Totally platonic, right? She pointed out hidden spots, a quiet garden, a rooftop with city views. This is where I come to think, she said at the garden, sitting on a bench. Away from all the expectations. Expectations. I sat beside her, our thighs touching. She sighed, vulnerability cracking her facade. My family's loaded, but it's all business. Dad wants me to major in finance, take over someday. But I hate it. I want to do art, something real. I nudged her shoulder. Then do it. You're Vanessa freaking Evans. You can afford to rebel. She laughed, leaning her head on my shoulder. And yeah, maybe with a sidekick like you, I can. Jason's warning echoed, but as her warmth seeped into me, I decided he was full of it. This felt real. That evening, back in the dorm, Nessa surprised me with a sketch pad. For you. Draw something. Or whatever. Just be you. I blushed, flipping through the blank pages. Nessa, this is too much. No such thing, she said, her eyes sparkling. And just like that, our bond deepened, one thoughtful gift at a time. Word spread fast about the rich girl and her loyal sidekick. By week 2, we were inseparable. Nessa paid me to organize her schedule, but it felt more like hanging out. She'd text me silly memes during class, and I'd reply with exaggerated loyalty oaths. Then came the frat party invite, from Jason of all people. It's for Vanessa, he said gruffly when he cornered us at lunch. But you can tag along, I guess. Nessa smirked. Only if Katie comes. She's my +1. Jason's jaw tightened, but he nodded. Fine. The party was chaos. Thumping music, red cups everywhere. Nessa looked stunning in a little black dress. She bought me a matching one, insisting we twin. We look hot, she whispered, linking arms as we entered. Inside, drinks flowed, and Nessa pulled me to the dance floor. Come on, sidekick. Show me your moves. I'm no dancer, but with her, I didn't care. We swayed, laughed, her hands on my waist guiding me. The room spun, but it was her proximity that made me dizzy. You're fun when you're loose, she teased, her breath warm on my ear. Jason watched from the corner, nursing a beer, his glare intensifying. When a slow song hit, Nessa pulled me closer. Ignore him. He's just mad because you're mine now. My heart raced. Yours? She grinned. Sidekick, remember? But, yeah, mine. As we danced, bodies pressed, I felt a spark, romantic, undeniable. Deep, fluttering emotions wrapped in humor and heat. But then Jason cut in, pulling Nessa aside for a talk. I watched, jealousy bubbling. What was his deal? When she returned, flushed, she grabbed my hand. Let's bounce. This party's lame without just us. We left, giggling under the stars, but I couldn't shake the feeling that Jason was a storm cloud on our horizon. Back in the dorm after the party, Mia and Lena were out, leaving Nessa and me alone. She kicked off her heels, collapsing on my bed, with a dramatic sigh. Jason's such a buzzkill. He kept going on about how I should be careful with you. Like, what even? I sat beside her, heart pounding. Careful? Why? She rolled onto her side, facing me. Because he thinks I'm leading you on or something. But Katie, I'm not. I like having you around. A lot. The air thickened. Her eyes, dark and intense, locked on mine. Your lips do look soft, she murmured, echoing that initial tease from the story's start, but now it felt loaded. I laughed nervously. Nessa, you're drunk. Maybe a little. She leaned in, her face inches from mine. Time slowed. Was this happening? My first kiss with a girl? With her? But then she pulled back, giggling. Kidding. Or am I? She booped my nose, rolling away. I exhaled, a mix of relief and disappointment. Tease. As we changed into PJs, hers silk, mine the comfy ones she'd bought, I glimpsed her vulnerability again. My family's coming for parents' weekend. Dad's intense. Promise you'll stick by me? Always, I said, climbing into bed. But as the lights went out, her hand found mine under the covers. We fell asleep like that, fingers intertwined. Romantic? Check. Deep? Absolutely. Funny? Well, my racing thoughts were comical in their confusion. Little did I know, Parents' Weekend would crack open both our worlds. Parents' Weekend arrived like a hurricane. My family? Radio silent since I ran away. Good riddance. But Nessa's? Her dad was a towering man in a suit, her mom elegant but distant. They swept into the dorm like royalty. Vanessa, this room is quaint, her dad said, nose wrinkled. Then his eyes landed on me. And who's this? Katie, my roommate and best friend, Nessa said, grabbing my arm possessively. Friend. Her mom arched a brow. She looks underdressed. I was in the clothes Nessa bought, but compared to them, yeah. Nessa bristled. Mom, Katie's amazing. She's helping me with everything. Her dad grunted. As long as it's not distracting from studies. We expect results, Vanessa. Lunch was awkward. Fancy restaurant off campus, them grilling Nessa about majors while ignoring me. But under the table, her foot nudged mine. A secret saved me. When her dad mentioned an arranged internship with Jason's family business. Wait, what? I couldn't stay quiet. Sir, Nessa's talented in art. Maybe she should pursue that. The table froze. Her dad glared. And who are you to advise? Nessa jumped in. She's right, Dad. I hate finance. The argument escalated, her parents storming out. Nessa teared up in the car ride back. Thanks for having my back, Katie. I hugged her. Our first real hug. Sidekick duty. That night, she cried in my arms, sharing more. Pressure to marry well. Family debts hidden behind wealth. Deep stuff. I held her, stroking her hair, feeling protective, and something more. Humor came when she sniffled. At least you're not trying to marry me for money. I laughed. Yet. Her eyes met mine, spark reigniting. Romantic tension? Building. Inspired by the blow-up, Nessa switched to an art elective. Come with me, Katie. You can be my muse. I enrolled, why not? Free credits, plus time with her. Class was fun. Painting, sketching. Nessa was talented, her pieces vibrant. One day, she sketched me, soft lines, intense gaze. You're beautiful, she said casually. I blushed. Flatterer. What's the title? Loyal sidekick? She smirked. My favorite distraction. Jason showed up uninvited, checking on her per his dad's orders. He saw the sketch, sneered. Cute. Playing pretend artist now. Nessa fired back. Better than being your dad's puppet. He left fuming, but not before whispering to me. She's using you to rebel. Wake up. Doubt crept in, but Nessa dispelled it with a picnic she packed. Fancy cheeses, wine, shoe, underage. Under a tree, she fed me grapes, laughing at my messy eating. You're adorable when you're clumsy. As sun set, she leaned in. Katie, seriously? I like you. More than a sidekick. My breath caught. Like?
She nodded, shy. Yeah.
Is that okay? I grinned. More than okay. We didn't kiss. Yet. But the confession hung sweet, romantic, deepening our bond amid campus chaos. With feelings out, things got flirty. Hand-holding in secret, stolen glances. But Jason amped up interference, accidentally bumping into us, spreading rumors Nessa was slumming it. Then a new rival. Sophia, artsy girl with a crush on Nessa. She invited Nessa to a gallery show, solo. Nessa went, but texted me nonstop. Boring without you. Miss my sidekick. I paced the dorm, jealous. When she returned, I pouted. Have fun with your new muse? She laughed, pulling me close. Jealous? Cute. Then, seriously, you're the only one, Katie. To prove it, she organized a date. Movie night in dorm, popcorn cuddles. Midway, her lips brushed my cheek.
See?
All yours. Funny moment. Mia walked in, saw us tangled. Finally. Pay up, Lena, we bet on this. We blushed, but laughed. Depth came from sharing fears, mine of abandonment, hers of superficiality. Romantic? Our first real cuddle session sealed it. But Jason plotted, inviting Nessa's parents back unexpectedly. Nessa's parents ambushed us at a cafe. Vanessa, we've heard about this distraction, her dad said, glaring at me. Jason lurked outside, smug. Nessa stood. Katie's not a distraction. She's everything. Argument exploded. Disowned threats, tears. I defended her. She deserves happiness, not your control. We stormed out, Nessa grabbing my hand. Run away with me? Just for the weekend. We did. Road trip to a beach town, her card funding a cozy inn. There, under stars, we talked deep. Her hidden anxiety, my runaway scars. Funny. I tried surfing, failed spectacularly. Nessa rescuing me laughing. Romantic peak. On the beach, she kissed me, soft, tentative, then passionate. I love you, Katie. I love you too. Bliss, but reality loomed. Parents, Jason, school. The backlash hit harder than a sudden campus storm. After our whirlwind weekend escape to the beach, where Nessa and I shared our first kiss under salty breezes and crashing waves, we returned to a world turned upside down. Her parents, furious at our defiance, had followed through on their threats. Nessa's phone buzzed nonstop with messages from her dad. Bank accounts frozen, credit cards canceled, even her allowance app locked down. No more black card privileges, she said with a wry smile, holding up her phone to show the ominous, account suspended notification. But behind that smile, I caught the flicker of panic in her eyes, the kind that comes when a lifetime of security is suddenly yanked away. We sat on her bed, surrounded by the remnants of our shopping sprees, piles of clothes that now felt like relics from a different life. What are we gonna do? I asked, trying to sound upbeat. I mean, I've been poor my whole life. Welcome to the club. Membership includes ramen noodles and Nessa laughed, but it was hollow. Katie, I've never even balanced a checkbook. My idea of budgeting is deciding which yacht to rent. She leaned her head on my shoulder, her hair tickling my neck. It was moments like these that made my heart ache, in a good way. Deep down, this crisis was stripping away her facade, revealing the vulnerable girl buried beneath layers of wealth and expectations. I took her hand, interlacing our fingers. Hey, we'll figure it out. I've got my bubble tea job. It's not much, but it covers basics. And you? You're talented. Sell some art, tutor rich kids in, I don't know, luxury living? We both cracked up imagining Nessa teaching a class on how to throw money like a pro. Humor was our lifeline, turning potential despair into something bearable. But reality bit fast. The next day, bills piled up, dorm fees, textbooks, even groceries. Nessa tried swiping her card at the campus store for snacks, only to have it declined in front of a line of snickering students. Her face turned beet red, and she bolted out, leaving me to pay with my meager cash. This is humiliating, she whispered later in our room, tears welling. I pulled her into a hug, feeling her tremble. No, it's not. It's just life. And you've got me. To make ends meet, we got creative. I dragged her to my bubble tea shift, where she attempted to man the counter. Picture this. Vanessa Evans, heiress extraordinaire, spilling tapioca pearls everywhere while trying to foam milk. How do you even argue? She yelped as the steamer hissed like an angry cat. Customers laughed, but in a good-natured way, and one even tipped extra for the entertainment. By the end of the shift, She was covered in syrup, giggling hysterically. Okay, sidekick, you win. Poverty builds character, or sticky fingers. Romantic tension simmered amid the chaos. That night, as we shared a cheap pizza, my treat, she fed me a slice, her fingers brushing my lips. You're my rock, Katie. I don't know what I'd do without you. Her eyes held mine, and I felt that pull again, the one that made my stomach flip. We kissed, slow and sweet, tasting of cheese and desperation turned tender. But not everyone was against us. The surprise ally? Mr. Parker, Jason's dad. He cornered me outside the dorm one evening, his usual chauffeur uniform looking rumpled. Listen, kid, he said, glancing around like we were in a spy movie. I don't agree with my boy or Vanessa's folks. Jason's got his head up his ass, thinking he's protecting her honor or whatever. But you make her happy. Here's a little something. He slipped me an envelope with cash, enough for a week's groceries. Don't tell anyone. And tell Vanessa to hang in there. I was stunned. Why help us? He shrugged. Seen too many rich folks ruin good kids. Plus, Jason's obsession with her is unhealthy. Break that cycle. With that, he vanished into the night. Emboldened, Nessa and I started a side hustle. She sketched quick portraits for students at $10 a pop, while I handled the marketing, yelling like a carnival barker in the quad. Get your custom art. Immortalize your ugly mug. We made bank. Well, college bank, and celebrated with stolen kisses behind the art building. Jason, of course, gloated whenever he saw us struggling. Told you she'd drag you down, he sneered one day at the cafe. I fired back. Jealous? We're building something real. What's your excuse? His face twisted, but he backed off for now. Through it all, our bond deepened. Late nights studying by flashlight to save on electricity, sharing secrets about our fears, hers of failure, mine of being unworthy. You're more than enough, she whispered one night, pulling me close under the covers. Funny how poverty made our romance richer, turning every small victory into a celebration of us. The campus art show loomed like a battlefield, and Nessa was determined to conquer it. The theme, Hidden Depths, couldn't have been more perfect. She poured her soul into a massive canvas portraying us, me and her, intertwined in a swirl of colors, our faces half-shadowed, symbolizing the layers we'd uncovered in each other. It's us, she said proudly, unveiling it in our dorm. Mia and Lena oohed and awed, but I just stared, throat tight. Nessa, it's wow. You made us look epic. She blushed, stepping closer. You're my inspiration, Katie. This is our story. Deep, messy, beautiful. We shared a quick kiss, but tension hummed. The show was her chance to prove to her parents and herself that art wasn't a whim. Prep was a whirlwind. We hauled supplies across campus, Nessa barking orders like a tiny general. Katie, hold this steady. No, not like that, you're wobbling. I teased her mercilessly. Bossy much? Remember when you paid me to unpack? Now I'm your free labor. She swatted me playfully, but her eyes sparkled with that romantic fire. Then disaster struck. Hours before setup, we found the canvas sabotaged, paint splattered across it like a Jackson Pollock gone wrong. Nessa gasped, collapsing to her knees. Who would? But I knew Jason. I'd seen him lurking near the art studio earlier, his smug grin a dead giveaway. Tears streamed down her face. It's ruined. Everything's ruined. I knelt beside her, wiping her cheeks. Not if we fix it. Come on. Sidekick mode activated. We worked frantically, blending the splatters into the design, turning sabotage into serendipity.
See?
Now it's got more depth. I joked, smearing blue across her nose. She laughed through sniffles, pulling me into a paint-smeared hug. You're a genius. Or a clown. Romantic? Absolutely, as we painted side by side, hands brushing, stealing glances. At the show, the gallery buzzed with students, professors, and, surprise, Nessa's parents. They'd shown up uninvited, her dad looking stern in his power suit. Jason hovered nearby, feigning innocence. As judges circled, whispers grew about Nessa's piece. Bold, one said. Emotional. When it was time for critiques, Jason accidentally bumped a table, nearly toppling a sculpture. Oops, he said loudly. But Mr. Parker, our secret ally, stepped in, steadying it. Careful, son, he muttered, shooting Jason a warning look. Nessa presented nervously. This piece represents uncovering hidden truths in love and life. Her voice wavered, but I squeezed her hand from the crowd. The judges loved it. Second place. Cheers erupted, but Jason couldn't hold back. That's not art. It's a joke. And you know who ruined it first? Me, because you're wasting your life.
Gasps.
Security dragged him out as he ranted. Nessa's dad approached, face unreadable. Vanessa, that was impressive. Her mom nodded. We might have been hasty. We'll reinstate your funds, but with conditions. Focus on school. Partial victory. Nessa beamed, but whispered to me, "This is because of you." On stage for her award, she pulled me up, planting a kiss in front of everyone. The crowd hooped, romantic triumph amid the drama. Later, alone, we laughed about Jason's meltdown. Think he'll learn? I asked. Nessa smirked. Doubt it. But we won. We celebrated with cheap wine, toasting our resilient love, depth in adversity, humor in chaos, romance in every brushstroke. With funds trickling back, Nessa's parents finally setting up a monitored account, we breathed easier, but the experience had changed us. Our bond deepened, like roots intertwining after a storm. It was Nessa's idea to start therapy, after one of those late-night talks where the weight of our pasts finally spilled out. Katie, we can't ignore the baggage, she said, curled against me on the couch. My family's control, your runaway past, let's unpack it properly. Our therapist was a quirky woman with rainbow glasses who made the whole thing surprisingly fun. Homework, share one fear weekly, she assigned. Mine? Being abandoned again. Nessa's? Not being enough without money. We talk it over on ice cream walks, turning heavy topics light. Fear conquered, now reward kiss. I declare, pulling her close. Romantic gestures became our unofficial therapy extension, surprise notes tucked in textbooks, foot massages after long days. Humor infused everything. We double-dated with Mia and Lena, who were now a thing, thanks to our inspiring romance. Dinner at a cheap diner turned chaotic when Mia challenged us to a fry-eating contest. Nessa, usually poised, stuffed her face like a chipmunk, ketchup everywhere. Elegance is overrated, she mumbled through bites. We lost, but the laughter bonded us all. You two are goals, Lena said. Messy gay goals. Campus life amped up. Nessa aced her art classes, dragging me to exhibits where we'd dramatically critique pieces. This sculpture screams divorce vibes, I whispered, making her snort. But the depth came in quiet moments, stargazing on the rooftop, dreaming futures. Art gallery owner, she mused. With you as my manager. I grinned. Or world travelers, bubble tea in every country. Her hand in mine felt like promise. Then my family resurfaced. A letter slipped under the door, demanding I return home or face consequences. My hands shook reading it. Accusations of ingratitude, threats to cut ties forever. Nessa found me crying. Hey, breathe, she soothed, holding me tight. We'll face them together. You're not alone anymore. We planned a confrontation, a video call, me flanked by Nessa. Mom, Dad, I love someone. A girl. And I'm happy. Silence, then yelling. But Nessa chimed in. Katie's incredible. If you can't see that, you lose her. They hung up, but it felt empowering. Proud of you, she whispered, kissing my forehead. Romantic support turned vulnerability into strength. As semesters flew by, we explored physically too, tentative touches evolving into passionate nights, always with consent and giggles. You're ticklish here? She'd tease, making me squirm. Depth in intimacy, sharing bodies after souls. Future dreams solidified over coffee. Graduation soon, I said. What then? Nessa grinned. Us, anywhere. Art school for me, whatever for you, together. We sealed it with a pinky promise, hearts full. Graduation approached like a finish line we weren't ready for, but excitement buzzed. Caps and gowns fittings turned silly, Nessa twirling in hers like a runway model. How do I look, sidekick? Like a rich girl playing scholar, I quipped, earning a playful shove. But beneath the humor, nerves simmered, post-college unknowns loomed. My family confrontation escalated. They showed up unannounced, pounding on the dorm door. Katie, open up. Mom's voice cracked with anger. Nessa stood by me as I faced them in the hallway. I'm not coming back. I love Vanessa. Dad scoffed. A phase. And her? Rich, spoiled brat. Nessa stepped forward, calm and steady. Sir, ma'am, Katie's my world. She's brave, kind. If you love her, let her be happy. Mom teared up. Dad grumbled, but softened.
Fine.
But don't expect help. They left, a fragile truce. You were amazing, I told Nessa, collapsing into her arms. Romantic heroism at its finest. To celebrate, we threw a dorm party budget version, string lights, playlist, snacks from my job. Mia and Lena danced wildly. Even Mr. Parker dropped by with congrats cake. Jason? Absent, probably sulking. As music thumped, Nessa pulled me to the balcony. Remember our first shopping trip? Thought you were just a cute errand girl. I laughed. And you, a money machine. Look at us now. Depth hit during speeches. Nessa toasted. To Katie, my runaway hero. You taught me love's not bought. Tears flowed. Hugs followed. Funny interlude. I spiked the punch, mildly, leading to Mia's karaoke disaster. Off-key, I will survive, had us in stitches. Graduation day. Diplomas in hand. Families mixed. Nessa's parents clapped politely. Mine attended awkwardly, but stayed. After, we escaped to our rooftop spot. Stars twinkled as we lay on a blanket, hands linked. Katie, she said softly. Marry me someday? Not now, but promise? She pulled out a Cracker Jack ring, plastic, ridiculous. I burst out laughing.
Yes.
But upgrade this bling. We kissed deeply, fireworks in my chest. I love you, I murmured. Forever psychic? Forever everything.